What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and I promise I'm not trying to become a Battle of Chaos channel, but oh my gosh, you guys, the reveals for this set have been really exciting. So in today's video, once again here, as I know I've done a lot this past week, we're going to be talking about some Battle of Chaos OCG reveals. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and also make sure to check out the previous Battle of Chaos reveal videos I've done throughout the week. If you guys like this discussion, you'll probably like those ones as well. Anyway, first up we have Guardian Chimera, a level 9 Dark Beast fusion effect monster with 3300 attack and defense. This card takes 3 monsters with different names to summon, so pretty easy in that regard, and it says must first be fusion summoned using only monsters in your hand and field as material, minimum 1 from each. You can only use the one effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned by a spell effect, you can draw cards equal to the number of monsters used as material from your hand, and if you do, destroy cards your opponent controls equal to the number of monsters used as material from the field. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects while you have a polymerization in your graveyard. So first things first, you probably won't want to summon this card using super polymerization. We've had cards like this in the past that people have also been confused about, but just to clarify, because this card requires you to use at least one monster in your hand to summon it, you can't use super polymerization, which only is allowed to use monsters on the field. So keep that in mind when you're looking at this card. It's not a great super poly target, but I do think it's a great card in any deck that plays polymerization. You have a lot of rogue decks, not too many competitive decks, maybe just prank kids actually, but yeah, there are a number of decks that play polymerization that are casual and competitive, and I think that Guardian Chimera is an automatic include as a one of in any of those decks. Having the ability to draw cards and pop cards without targeting is pretty strong. Even if you don't summon this thing that often, I think it's still a pretty good option in decks that play polymerization. Technically, you don't have to use it in decks that play polymerization. You only get that bonus effect when you have the poly in the grave, but theoretically you could play this card in other decks that can fusion summon without using polymerization. Still, I think Guardian Chimera is a good card. Maybe it's not the biggest like chase card in Battle of Chaos, but I think it will actually see play in a number of fusion strategies. Next up we have Monster Rebirth, a new normal trap card, and honestly if that Pot of Greed trap card wasn't in Battle of Chaos, I'm pretty sure this card would be the worst card in the set. It says if a monster or monsters was destroyed by battle this turn, send one monster born from your hand or deck to the graveyard, then target one monster in either graveyard, special summon it. This is treated as a special summon by Monster Reborn, which basically never matters. Monster Rebirth is pretty much just a worse Call of the Haunted or Oasis of the Dragon Souls. Yeah, it can special summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard as well, but man, it's so specific in terms of when you are allowed to activate it. You have to wait for a monster to be destroyed by battle, so yeah, I don't think Monster Rebirth is a very good card. I'm not sure why they keep giving us these Monster Reborn support cards. We've recently gotten a spell and a trap that deal with Monster Reborn and the God cards as well, so I don't know why we keep getting these cards. Monster Reborn really hasn't been a staple in many years, so it's kind of strange to see so many support cards for it when Monster Reborn itself already isn't seeing that much play. Would you put Monster Reborn in your deck just to play Monster Rebirth? Probably not, especially considering there's only one Monster Reborn, and if you play 3 Monster Rebirth, you'll only ever be able to activate the first one, unless you're able to shuffle back the Monster Reborn in your deck, but that is so much work to activate this mediocre card. I really don't think Monster Rebirth is very good. And then we have Skilled Chestnut Magician, and I want to say here that it seems like a lot of people don't like this card. Personally though, I think it fits pretty nicely into a Kuriboh deck with all of the new Kuriboh support. Skilled Chestnut Magician is a level 4 dark spellcaster monster with 300 attack and 200 defense. It says you can only use the 2 effect with this card's name only once per turn. Each time a spell card is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card. When that spell resolves, maximum 3, you can remove 1 spell counter from this card, then activate one of these effects. Increase this card's level by 1, also it gains 1500 attack, add 1 Kuriboh monster or multiply from your deck or graveyard to your hand. hand. So I think this card is a lot better than people are giving it credit for. First off, unlike the previous skilled magicians that were released way back in the day, this one only has to remove 1 spell counter to use its effect, not 3. So that means all you have to do is activate 1 spell card after putting this card on the board, which in my opinion is pretty darn easy. And both effects are relevant here. Obviously the search effect is great. You can add any Kuriboh monster to your hand or multiply, and multiply isn't that bad. It actually is pretty good. It could put a bunch of tokens on your board for link summons or whatever, but also that level increasing effect is relevant too. People seem to not realize that it's meant to work with 5-star Twilight, a normal spell card that requires you to control only 1 level 5 monster. So I think this card will be played in Kuriboh decks. Admittedly, I don't know how powerful Kuriboh decks are going to be, but if they see play at all, this card will probably be included. Next up, we have 1 new Magnet Warrior card and 1 new XYZ Dragon Cannon card. And I think what's interesting about these 2 reveals is that I was reminded of King's Court. In King's Court, you had 1 Magnet Warrior support card and 1 XYZ Dragon Cannon support card, so it seems like that's being continued on in Battle of Chaos. Now in King's Court, I think the Magnet Warrior card was a lot better than the XYZ Dragon Cannon card, and I think the same thing has happened here as well. Epsilon, the Magnet Warrior, is a level 4 Earth Rock effect monster with 1300 attack and 1500 defense. It says you can only use this card name's effect once per turn. If this card is normal or special summon, you can send 1 level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Epsilon the Magnet Warrior. This card's name becomes the same as the sent monster's name until the end phase. Then you can special summon 1 Magnet Warrior monster or 1 Magna Warrior monster that does not share a name with any card you control from your graveyard. So it sets up your graveyard for Berserkion, it revives a card for potential Xyz plays or Link plays. Yeah, I think Epsilon the Magnet Warrior is a good addition to Magnet Warrior decks. If you remember, the King's Court card was basically a mini Ties of Brethren, and I think Epsilon does make a big difference in combination with that card. You want to set up your graveyard and you want to put monsters on the board in a Magnet Warrior deck, so I think Epsilon, because it does both of those things, will fit in pretty well. Finally, we have XYZ Combine, a new continuous spell card that says you can only use this card name's 1 and 2 effects once per turn each. If a Light Machine Union monster card in your possession is banished, you can special summon 1 X-Head Cannon, Y Dragon Head, or Z Metal Tank from your deck. You can return 1 fusion monster you control to the extra deck, special summon up to 2 monsters with different names from among your banished X-Head Cannon, Y Dragon Head, and or Z Metal Tanks. I don't think XYZ Combine is enough to make people want to play the X, Y, and Z cards here, but at least it is more support for this underutilized set of Light Machine Union monsters. I think for now people are going to stick just to A, B, and C, but maybe with XYZ Combine in the new trap that was in King's Court, people are going to experiment a bit more with XYZ Dragon Cannon. That being said, I think for now this card probably won't see play. Anyway, that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below which one of these new cards you are most excited to try out when they release in the TCG. I'll see you later. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.